Hey, what's up, guys? So today I'm gonna show you guys how I made a song of mine called "Used to Be" featuring Sofu. I just figured, kind of my favorite song that I've ever made, and why not show how my work process and all that stuff is for me. So I'm not gonna go too much in depth with this. I'm just gonna show like pretty much maybe the first section. Everything else is basically the same thing, just with different variations. But yeah, let's just get started with this section right here. Just gonna play it out so you guys could hear it, and then I'm gonna go through how I got to this point.
The stars in the sky, oh, they light up the late nights. I hope that you see all my feelings that are painted in the sky. 'Cause
Alright, so I'm gonna be honest. I just barely opened up the project. It's been a while since I've opened this, so I'm just gonna go with the flow right here. I don't have like a script or anything. I'm just gonna go from what I see. So first thing you hear pretty much when starting off is these vocal chops right here. If I could find them down here. So this is basically what made the whole song, this. Coming up to the drop has that too. Uh, so if we pull up the vocal chops just alone, sounds like this. So I don't know if you saw, but from this, it's a Dylan Matthew vocals. I just chopped it up, some effects and all that. So without the effects, it just sounds like this. And it's also probably, yeah, it's pitched up as well, just slightly. But what these vocals are, if I just drag them out, it's from right here. It says long phrase, only you, from this.
I got nothing left to lose. Oh, so I'll keep waiting for you. It's the only thing that I can do to keep my composure.
So yeah, I just chopped that up and eventually got to this point. What this consists of is obviously I pitched it more. And we got the pitch up and the format, just drop it a little bit with the drive, give it that distortion feeling. Some delay, reverb, cutting off the lows and a bit of highs, the usual stuff. Glue compressor as well. I honestly don't know what this is. Oh, for that sidechain, I assume. Well, yeah, so with it, you already heard. So I got to this. Atmosphere wise, let's see what we have here. Honestly, I forgot what I put here. Alright, so we have this. There here. Gonna go off this one right here. We have this ARP from one of my sample packs, the Waiting for You one. Just has some reverb on it. Spectral resonator, nothing too crazy. And this one right here. Just a nice like little droney sounding thing. And this, I honestly don't remember what this is. I think one of my friends showed me something and I kind of just like tried it out, just left it in there. Uh, there's a sound in here. I think this might have just been the chords. The chords of something, like the piano or something like that. Yeah, just some reverb. Again, nothing too crazy. And then if we go, let's see. I won't go over the vocals. The instrument. we have this right here. Just your simple piano chords, and right here I believe it's just a reverse piano. Yeah. So that's basically what makes up the whole intro. And if we're getting to the verse,
the stars in the sky, oh, they light up.
So it's just pretty much the same thing. The chords just play through, and obviously there's vocals now at this point. But there's just a little addition I added with the piano. It's like this high bell kind of melody, I guess you could say. I'm gonna be honest, I was playing Forza Horizon 4, I think it was. The intro song, there's like this piano thing that plays in it. I just kind of liked it, threw it in here. Kind of fit. I just left it in there.
I hope that you see all my feelings that are painted in the sky.
And that's basically what makes up this whole section right here. Obviously, there's some effects as well. Not too crazy, just some swooshes and impacts. I thought I muted it. Let me mute that real quick. Or solo. Yeah, nothing too crazy. And going on to the pre-build, the build and the drop and all that. I name my stuff pretty weird. But let's go for this section now. So I'm just gonna go for this section right here. Oh, forgot to unsolo it. There we go.
'Cause my feelings aren't fading. I can't stop running in circles to find you. As long as you look back, I won't stop waiting. Tell me that you'll come back to how we used to.
Alright, so this essentially is the same thing going on, just with some more atmosphere. I think it's basically just this one added right here. Just some more atmosphere you probably find on like sample packs and all that. This one, it's an Omnisphere patch. I'm not sure what this is though. I honestly don't remember why I added this, but I guess it just worked and I left it in there. And again, just some effects. Nothing too crazy. And for the instrument part, it's a bit more going on. Again, it's just your simple piano going on through. Let's see if I missed anything up here. I don't think I did, but yeah, no, it's just vocals. But along with the piano, I actually added this guitar sounding thing. Actually, I skipped one right here. This synth. Let me just go over this real quick. It's like a nice pad sounding thing. Kind of fit with the song, so I left it in there. And it goes to this guitar, which I guess is the main workaround this whole project is guitars. So for this one, I use a Contact Library. It's actually an electric. I don't have an acoustic, so I just straight up did like the dry signal and try to make it acoustic sounding. Sounds like this. Again, it sounds a bit weird by itself, but with everything, like context, it just works. So I kept that in there. And I won't go over it too much. It's literally just this pattern right here. And then for the guitar settings, I just have like no amps, no nothing, just this dry signal. And just kind of boosted the highs a bit. And I got to this point. And now going to the actual build up. Let me just unsolo this.
As long as you look back, I won't stop waiting. Tell me that you'll come back.
So again, the same instruments, except this time I have this more guitars. I actually it's called consolidated some of the guitars I had here just to save some CPU and all that. So I can't unfortunately show the patches and all that I used. But the sound just sounds like this. All of this. So that by itself obviously doesn't sound as good alone, but with everything else it made sense. And also with the chords, it's not too different. I'm not a music guy, but these are like a whole bar right here, the chords. I don't know the terminology, but it's just faster. Going to the build-up. Just give it that variety, I guess you could say. And for the drums, nothing too much. Just your simple drums you'd have in a normal build-up. Got some claps. And I think this is just like a little snare 808 kind of type thing. And this one, I'm not sure what this is. Oh, you're a kick. It's leading up to the drop and all that. So that's pretty much what makes up this whole section. Again, I'm not, that crazy into music production. I just kind of do it on the side once I have free time. So, whatever I like making, I just go with. And again, just your simple swooshes and whooshes. Atmosphere, pretty much same stuff. Just throw in vocal chops as well with the build-up. Just to basically show like what's coming up in the drop. And for the vocals, I'm not gonna go over it too much, but it's just pretty much what Sofu sent me. Some stuff I pitched and did like some ad-libs and kind of stuff. Nothing too much about that. Just reverb, pitched up, and all that. And so now let's get to the drop. I'm gonna go over basically the whole drop section. So let's see what we have here. Oh, always forget to unsolo it. Alright, here we go.
To how we used to be.
So here's where basically the whole song comes into play. A lot of stuff here. So let's just go this one by one pretty much from top to bottom just to make it simple. So for the vocal chops, well this one is just vocals, regular vocals. Let me just solo this. Nothing too much there, just the vocals and vocals behind it as well, just pitched up with reverb. And vocal chops, as I showed you earlier in the intro, just plays on here. Then we have atmosphere. Again, pretty much what I showed you from the intro, verse, and all that. Oh, actually, I'll extend that. Except just this added one, this Nerco atmosphere, which I love. Honestly, I use it like in every song. It just works so well. So that's basically the atmosphere for this. And the effects, again, nothing too crazy. Then we go to the instruments. And then guitars. Alright, so we have that. And again, for the instruments, that's not too much added besides, I guess, this little pad right here, or chord, whatever this is. A keypad type thing. So for the first section of the drop, I guess you could say it's like almost like a fake out, but not really. It just leads up to like the more guitarish parts and all that. And so if we go to the section where it actually gets to all that, right here. So this is where I actually started the song from, was this part right here. And that's how I basically worked around all of this. So the kick, nothing too crazy, just a simple kick. And then for the sub, I guess you could say, but it's more like a bass guitar. It's just this sound. Kind of make it a bit jumpy, I guess you could say. And down here, I actually almost forgot about this. Just some more simple effects. Claps. And then hi-hats, we'll get to there. So now going to the drop section. This is where a lot of stuff comes into play. It's basically just more synths and guitars and all that, kind of fill up the spectrum. Let me see. Atmos, pretty much the same thing. Vocal chops, obviously the same thing. Some more effects, swooshes and whooshes. Then we go to the guitar. So this is the guitars going to this section. Here it's just titled A, Let's Go. So like this. Sounds a bit weird by itself. And at this point, I actually had the song just like this, but I actually messaged one of my friends because he plays guitar. I'm not that good, so I had him ask him if he could play the chords, and he said he'd do it, and he just sent them over, and I dragged them in here. So with his guitars, it sounds like this. It just gives it the real guitar feel. This is what he played. Just amazing. Fit the song really well. Kept it in there. And here we have this hey type of thing going on, which you could hear if I play everything. So this was a bit weird. I asked a few of my friends if they could just say hey, really energetic. They agreed to it. Hey. That's one. Tofu, this is space Sofu. She goes by Tofu. Hey. We have that. And in this one we have a Cashmere one. And this, another Cashmere one. So all that, together. Just fit really well with the song. Loved it. Kept it in there. And then, let's see what we else have. Effects, just a little sub drop with the kick. Give some more energy. And then down here, just some more claps and all that. So that's what basically goes into the big section. Go to the instrument tab. And then for the synths, it's just a bit more added. See down here. This is like the only chord sounding sound that is in here in the whole drop. And the chords slightly changed. Not too much. Nothing crazy. Yeah, that basically covers this whole section for this. So basically, if I mute everything and just have the guitars playing, do that real quick. This is just show you that this whole song or drop was made with guitars in mind. So I really wanted to get that sound out there, make it sound nice and full. Let me just play this. So this is basically how I started the song, and I was like, hold on. Just kept going with this. Like, so I kept adding more, and eventually got to this point. So with the instruments and the Atmos and everything, it just made it sound so much fuller, and it just worked out. And one thing I should also note is for the vocals, Sofu sang this part, and it worked really well with it. So if I just play this. So that's kind of the vocal sound you hear when this plays. It's nothing, you know, that I did, any like sound effects or anything like that. She just straight up sang that to go along with the vocal chops, and it worked really well. And then we go to the breakdown. Again, by this point, all the sounds and everything you hear here, nice. Everything is pretty much the same thing going on throughout the whole song. So for the breakdown, oh, always forget to unsolo stuff. Here we go. Again, the vocal chops just slowly fade out. We go to this section for the second verse.
Do you see all the colors of blue? All my feelings, they still shine in the dark.
And here we just have the same instruments, the piano, and the I don't want to say acoustic guitar, it's just the electric guitar made sound like an acoustic. And then a kick, the wrong one. And then some break loop, which is just some claps. And obviously your basic effects, nothing crazy there. And we go to the second drop, which I actually didn't change much. Everything else is pretty much the same thing from the first, except for the A Let's Go part 2. Right before that, instead of your hey and the guitar little fill thing, so instead of this, instead we have an LFO type thing going on here. Oh wait, no. Hold on. Oh, this is the wrong one. I was like, that's not it. Here we go. So we have this instead. So this, it's nothing really crazy. It's just basically an LFO, if I could find it. I believe I used... Well, I used AutoPan for it. I just don't remember where I put it. Oh no, did I just use a... Okay, so I manually did this with a utility, basically automating the volume on this. So it's just pretty much this. Again, it's just with the vocals creeping in that gives it that nice feel to it, as like it's bringing everything all together. That's what we get to this point. Everything else is the same as from the first drop. And then we go to basically the last bit of the song. This is where stuff tends to change a bit, so I'm just going to play this through.
Tell me that you'll come back to me. Tell me that you'll come back to me. As long as you look back, I won't stop waiting. Tell me that you'll come back to how we used to be. Tell me that you'll come back to me. Tell me that you'll
Alright, so here it's pretty much the same thing as the breakdown from ending the first drop. So we have this. Again, just your chords, effects, atmosphere.
As long as you look back, I won't stop waiting. Tell me that you'll come back to how we used to be.
And then from here, I didn't want like to do like a whole chorus section, like a second chorus and all that. I just went straight to the build on this. And for the build, only difference here is some slight drum changes, I believe. Yeah, it's just the kick starts playing right away instead of later down here. And the guitar, my friend's guitar actually plays in here as well. Basically just a bit more sounds since it's not like a fake drop, it just goes straight into it again. So that's pretty much that, and it goes into the drop again. So here, one thing I actually forgot to go over, which were the hi-hats. It's nothing crazy, it's just this. So that's like one sound that really brings everything together. So without it, it just doesn't work. So if I play like the first drop without the hi-hats, it just does not sound good at all. It just sounds like something's missing from it. So the hi-hats really just bring it all together. Just did a little, oh shit, my voice cracked, goddamn. Just did a little on and off right there so you can hear the difference. Alright, and then, let's see what else. So here, for basically the third drop, I guess you could say, the ending, I would just call it. I didn't want it just to be the drop all over again. I actually wanted Sofu's vocals to just like sing in it and just go along with that, which is what I did. So we just have her vocals here.
Tell me that you'll come back to me.
And I just went along with it. Everything else is pretty much the same thing with the guitars, instruments, and all that, the effects, everything. And then going on to the end, so this part right here. And going into this one, for this little fill effect kind of thing, I guess you could say. It's nothing really intense. It's just a sub drop with the kick, and then some sounds just muted. So I just play that alone. Up with the kick and everything. Give me 1 second. So it's just basically this. And it just goes back into it again. And from this point onwards, I actually took away the vocal chops and I left Sofu's vocals. So what goes on here, with her vocals, if I just solo them, is basically this. And I'll leave the guitar in there just for context as well with the kick. Oh, forgot this guitar. So it's just this. So if I go to the section just before this, with the vocal chops, so like you see the transition kind of goes like this. I forgot to put on the vocal chops. Here we go. It just kind of gives a feeling that like, all right, the song's ending, so why not just, you know, leave it off really smooth, nothing too crazy. And that's how basically this whole song came to be. So nothing really much to go over anymore. You know, it's just your basic chords that go along with the whole song. You just build around that. My workflow is basically all this. Sometimes it's chaotic. Sometimes I actually organize stuff. And this one, kind of just threw everything in there and hoped it all worked, which it did. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, consider leaving a like and subscribing. And if not, you don't have to, up to you. But if you guys enjoy this, let me know down in the comments if you want to see another song me going over. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys next time.